Welcome friends to my channel StatInfy, where we have started a lecture series on sample survey. This is the ninth part of the series, and in this part we shall discuss about systematic sampling. Okay, we have already discussed about simple random sampling, stratified random sampling and quota sampling in our previous videos. Okay, so please make sure that you are watching all this video part by part so that you will understand all this technique in a systematic way. Okay, so now this is the time to understand what is systematic sampling. So what is systematic sampling? Actually, systematic sampling is most commonly used technique among all the sampling technique. If we have all the up-to-date details of the sampling units, okay, that means if we have the complete and up-to-date list of our sampling units at our hand, in that case it will be better to use systematic sampling rather than other technique to draw a sample from the population, because this sampling technique is a easier one in compared to the others, and it also require less amount of expenses for conducting the study in compared to the other sampling technique. Okay, so now let's understand what is the method of selecting a sample from the population by using systematic sampling. Okay, so in case of systematic sampling, we select the first unit for our sample at random. Okay, that means we're going to select the first unit of the sample at random, and then rest of the unit are selected according to some predetermined pattern. Okay, we are going to use some formula or rule to get the rest of the units for our sample. That means after selecting the first unit at random, we are going to use some formula or rule to get the rest of the units of the sample. Okay, so suppose for example our population size is capital N. Okay, and the observations of the population are numbered from 1 to capital N. These are serially numbered from 1 to capital N. Okay, and we want to draw a sample of size small n such that capital N is equal to small nk. That means our sample size is a multiple of our population size. Okay, so we'll get k is equal to capital N by small n, where k is called what? It is called the sampling interval, and we are going to use this formula to determine the rest of the units for our sample. Okay, so now we have to select a random number for our first row in such a way that I less than is equal to k. So what is this I? This I is our random number. Okay, and it should be less than is equal to k. That means we have to select a random number for our first row in such a way that the random number should be less than or is equal to the sampling interval. Okay, so after selecting the random number in such a way, we use this formula to select the other units for our sample. Okay, that means this is our first unit, okay, which is selected at random. Okay, and for getting the second unit for our sample, we just add the sampling interval to our first unit. Okay, so we will get I plus k. So this will be our second unit. Okay, now for getting the third unit, we just add the sampling interval to our second unit. Okay, that means we have to select the random number for our first row. Okay, such that our random number should be less than or is equal to the sampling interval k. Okay, and after that we have to add the sampling interval to the unit of the previous row, such that we will get I plus k, I plus twice k, like that, and we will continue this process until we get the sample of size small n. So as soon as we get the sample of size small n, we stop this process. Okay. Now what is I? This I is called random start and its value determines the whole sample. Okay. Now it may happen that this formula doesn't exist. It may happen that in some cases capital N is not equal to Nk. So what will happen there? So we'll discuss about it. Okay. Now to make the process more clear to you, we use this example and show you how we can use the systematic sampling to draw sample from the population. Okay. So suppose for example our population size is 20. Okay, and each of the observations are serially numbered from 1 to 20. Okay, and we want to draw a sample of size 5. So in that case our sample size is a multiple of our population. Okay, and if we put the values of capital N and small n here, we get k is equal to what? We get k is equal to 4. Okay, now we have to select a random number from 1 to 4. Why? Because we have already discussed that we have to select a random number for the first row in such a way that the random number should be less than or equal to the sampling interval. Okay, and in our case our sampling interval is what? Our sampling interval is 4. That's why we have to choose a random number from 1 to 4. Okay, now suppose for example 1 is selected, then what will happen? So if 1 is selected, then our next unit will be 1 plus 4 is equal to 5. Okay, so in this way we will get these units for our sample 1, 5, 9, 13, 17. Okay, now if 2 is selected, what will be the units in our sample? So if 2 is selected, our units will be 2, 6, 10, 14, 18 like this. Okay, now if 3 is selected, so these will be the units for our sample, and if 4 is selected, then these will be the units. Okay, so these are the possible sample combination of size 5 if we use the systematic sampling to draw a sample of size 5 from the population of size 20 and where the observations are numbered from 1 to 20. Okay, so these are the possible combination of sample in case of systematic sampling. If we want to draw a sample of size 5 from the population of size 20 and the units are numbered from 1 to 20 in population. Okay, so I hope this is now clear to you. Okay, now this technique is called linear systematic sampling. When it is called linear systematic sampling? When the value of n is equal to nk. Okay, so when capital N is equal to nk, that technique of systematic sampling is also known as linear systematic sampling. Okay, now we'll see what will happen when capital N is not equal to nk. Okay, so we just use the previous example. That means our population size is 20 and we want to draw a sample of size 7 in place of 5. Okay, because 5 is a multiple of 20, that's why there become no issue. Okay, and to get the value of k is equal to 4. But if we want to draw a sample of size 7 which is not a multiple of 20, in that case what will be the value of k? So in that case we get that fraction is equal to 2.86, which is nearly equal to 3. Okay, so if we take k as 3, in that case what will happen? So since our sampling interval k is equal to 3, that's why we have to choose a random number from 1 to 3 for our first row. Okay, now suppose for example 1 is selected, then what will be the cases? If 1 is selected, then these will be the selected sampling units for the sample. Okay, now if 2 is selected, then what will happen? If 2 is selected, then these will be the sampling units for our sample. Okay, sorry, so here after 17 there will be 20. Okay, because we are going to draw a sample of size 7 and I have just written 6 observation. Okay, so after 17 there will be 20. Okay, so next, now if 3 is selected randomly for our first row, then what will happen? So the first unit will be 3, and if we use the previous formula, so 3 plus 3 is 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, then we will get 21. But we know that this 21 is not included in our population. Okay, our population consists of 20 observations, and each of the observations are numbered from 1 to 20, and there is no units having the number 21. Okay, so this will be not the sample. So that means that the process of linear systematic sampling is not going to work here when the value of capital N is not equal to Nk. Okay, so what we'll do in this situation? Okay, what process we have to apply for selecting a sample from the population by using systematic sampling when capital N is not equal to small nk. Okay, so this type of sampling is first used by D.B. Lahiri. This type of sampling means circular systematic sampling. Okay, when the value of capital N is not equal to Nk, in that case whatever systematic sampling we apply to get a sample from the population, this systematic sampling is known as circular systematic sampling. So what we will do in circular systematic sampling? In case of circular systematic sampling, we just take the value of k, that means sampling interval, as the nearest integer of the fraction capital N by n. Okay, k is taken as the nearest integer of this fraction capital N by n. Now we select a random number from 1 to capital N. Okay, that means in our example we have 20 observations. Our population size is 20 and each of the observations are numbered from 1 to 20. Okay, so in our example we have to select a random number from 1 to 20. Okay, now if the random number, suppose for example it is m, then we have to select the m plus jkth unit when m plus jk less than capital N, and we have to select every m plus jk minus capital Nth unit when m plus jk greater than capital N. Okay, putting j is equal to 1 to 3 till small n units are selected. Okay, so in our example our population size is 20 and our sample size is 7. Okay, and now suppose for example 1 is selected at random. In that case what will be the other units? It will be 1 plus 3, 4, then 7, 10, 13, like this. Okay, if 2 is selected, then this will be like this, 2 plus 5, then up to 20. Now if 3 is selected, then what will happen? If 3 is selected, then the second unit will be 6. Okay, because the first unit 3 plus the sampling interval 3 is equal to 6, and using this process we get the other units. Okay, so 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, and after that we will get what? After that we will get 21. That means this m plus jk, here this m plus jk is equal to 21, which is greater than greater than capital N. Okay, so if the unit is greater than capital N, in that case what we'll do? We just subtract the population size from that sampling unit, isn't it? So we just subtract 20 from 21 and then we get what? And then we get 1, and this one is included in our population. Okay, so this is the possible sample combination. Okay, but if we use the linear systematic sampling technique here, we will not get the possible sample here. Okay, now in this way you can draw the other possible sample combination also. Okay, So now I just keep the last option. That means if we select the random number 20 for our first observation, then what will happen? Okay, so if the random number 20 is selected for the first row, so that our first row will be 20. Okay, so what will be our second row? So if we add the sampling interval to our first row, we will get what? We will get 23. That means 20 plus 3 is equal to 23. Okay, our m plus jk is greater than capital N. Okay, so here we get 23, which is greater than 20. So now we have to subtract 20 from that unit. Okay, so that we get the possible unit for our sample. Okay, because 23 is not a possible unit for our sample, because 23 is not included in our population. Okay, that's why you have to subtract that population size from our unit, so that we can get the possible sampling unit for our sample. Okay, so after subtracting 20 from 23, we get 3. Okay, so as soon as we get 3, we use the previous method, this method, because this will be our m plus jk, na? So this m plus jk is less than n. That's why we have to add our sampling interval to it, and then we can see that we get 6, and which is not greater than 20, so that we will continue the process until we get a sample of size 7. Okay, so from this you can understand that systematic sampling is a more easy option in compared to simple random sampling, stratified random sampling, or quota sampling. That means whatever sampling technique still now we have discussed about, systematic sampling is the easy option. That's why if we have the complete and up-to-date list of the sampling units, in that case systematic sampling is a preferred choice. Okay, and systematic sampling may be used in case of forest survey. Okay, suppose for example we want to draw a sample of trees from a forest. In that case systematic sampling is a better option to use in compared to the others. I hope now systematic sampling is clear to you, and if it is so, then please like, share and subscribe my channel, and please make comment, and please watch my videos so that I get motivation from you to give more videos on various topics. Okay, thank you so much for watching my video. Thank you.